needed on this one.
Well, if you ever plan to cycle west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Set sail on the Wobegon Trail.
Welcome special guest Garrison Keillor. Come on up. Garrison, welcome.
I represent the town of Lake Wobegon, which did not send anybody else to this festive occasion. These are people who came out here about the same time people settled along the trails. Norwegian Lutherans who came after the great herring famine of the 1870s, and who came believing there was a great lake out here, Lake Agassiz, which turned out to be prehistoric and had been for a long time. And German Catholics who came to Lake Wobegon who had misread their maps but who refused to admit it and stayed put. And here we are in Osakis, which marks the boundary between these two warring groups in Minnesota. People who live in peace on the basis of mutual disapproval. I look over here at this paved trail, and I'm not sure what James J. Hill would think. But the empire that he built has been reduced to pavement, and bicycles, I know it would give him pause. I think, though, that it would hurt him even more to know that his Great Northern Railroad had become part of a conglomerate, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, and that it had left St. Paul to move to Texas. Compared to that, this would have been a small thing. And James J. Hill, though he put in the tracks here and helped to establish these towns, lived in a graceful time in our culture. He was a horse and buggy man, and that's really how he saw the world when he was not on a train. When he drove around St. Paul, Minnesota, he saw it behind a pair of horses, and roughly at about the same speed that the younger people are biking along this Lake Wobegon Trail. The really strange thing to James J. Hill would have been the interstate and the airplanes going overhead, people who look down and see this pattern of green rectangles out in the middle of the country and have no idea who's down there. When you bike on this trail, you get a clearer picture of the country that you live in. You don't see it in a blur going by. You get clear images of America, and I think he would have approved of that. I was so honored when Leo Sand from Albany called me on behalf of the JCs to ask if it would be okay for them to use the name Lake Wobegon. I don't know why he called me. They should have called Mayor Kretzbach in Lake Wobegon, but I think that Leo knew that if he went through official channels in Lake Wobegon, this never would have gotten approved. This thing would have died just through sheer talk for months and perhaps years. Lake Wobegon was opposed to a bicycle trail back when this was built almost 10 years ago, because they were afraid of who it would bring into Lake Wobegon. It would bring people who were driving foreign cars and people who had strange bumper stickers and who had odd hair. But now time has passed, and people in Lake Wobegon are coming around to support this because they're getting to be older. They all are, so am I. I just suddenly, a couple weeks ago, without really meaning to, having held it off as long as I could, I became a senior citizen. And when you become older and no longer immortal as you were when you were young, you see the benefits of getting on a bike and riding around. riding around up and down this trail and working off the chocolate chiffon pie and doing what you can to preserve your life so that you will be able to know your grandchildren when they are in their 20s and are sort of over themselves and are more interested in the people they came from. That should be your goal now. To live on into your grandchildren's life, and this trail over here is going to help you do that. It'll also give you a closer look at this beautiful countryside that we live in. It will give you a closer look at your neighbors, perhaps a view of them that they would not prefer. You may be looking at the back of their houses instead of from the front, but this is a great connection here to finally connect these two segments, to bring together the Lake Wobegon section of the trail, which represents the work ethic, hard-working people, as some of us were brought up to be, and then the resort people who live up the road. These resort towns like Nelson and Brandon, and where people water ski and do all sorts of other things that we were not brought up to do down at the Lake Wobegon end of the trail. We were brought up with a powerful work ethic. To work, it's good for you. Don't complain about it. Everybody's got to do their share. Don't be a passenger. Don't be a spectator. Pull your share of the load. You're unhappy about this? I'll give you something to be unhappy about. Get busy. That was what we were brought up with. People call it workaholism now. We used to call it dedication. But that's the background that we came from. And then people up towards Alex and Fergus grew up with a whole different view of life. That if you didn't have time to go fishing, you were living the wrong kind of life or you knew the wrong people. So somehow these two philosophies meet here in the missing 4 miles, 4.4 miles, and this is a place where two worlds collide. I got to West Union, which is in Todd County, and had some time to hang around, so I wrote a couple of limericks. A man from the county of Todd believed in hard work and in God, and the wise use of talents, and budgets in balance, and otherwise was sort of odd. A man from the county of Stearns would not drink in bars that had ferns, or use odd liquors, or save the whale stickers, and at all costs avoided left turns. This is a great moment for Central Minnesota. And I'm pleased to be a part of it. I hope that you truly enjoy this trail. There'll be people coming up from the cities to use it. Don't mind them. They'll be all right. They'll wear themselves out biking up here, and they'll do you no harm. But the bike trail is really for you. It really is to get away from your life and get outside. My mother used to send us outside when we became obstreperous. I learned the word obstreperous as a small child, usually applied to myself. You kids get out from underfoot. You kids are in my hair, she'd say, and she'd send us out. Especially boys were sent out. We ran around and we played with anything curved, which we made into a pistol. Spent my childhood shooting other boys and arguing about who was dead. Girls stayed inside and played with dolls and worked out their problems and extended family groups and learned how to communicate with each other. I need more of them in our state legislature, if you ask me. But it's good to get outside. It's so simple, but you have to keep reminding yourself that if you work hard, as we all do, and we sit in little cubicles, and we sit and we look at screens, and we answer telephones, the telephones follow us wherever we go. There's no escaping from work anymore. There are parts of Stearns County where cell phone coverage is not the best, and God bless them for it, but the rest of us are victims of work. There is a lot of sadness in life. There are things that we cannot avoid that will bring us down, but there is a lot of gloom that can be solved simply by getting outside on a sunny day and riding your bike up and down this trail. You can do a lot for your disposition out here. And as you sail on down the Lake Wobegon end of this trail, think of those people who came over from Germany, who came over in various waves during the 19th century. They came to America for all sorts of reasons. Opportunity was one of them. But another one was to get away from the insane politics of Europe in the 19th century and the sheer bloodshed that was visited on so many people as old regimes collided in Germany, and princes and rulers, people with plumed helmets, strutting up and down with swords at their side, thought nothing of sacrificing young men for their own pride. They left all of that. They didn't want to get involved in those battles between principalities and states and empires. They came to America in search of peace, and they found central Minnesota. This was a paradise to them. This is a paradise in central Minnesota. They found the peace they were looking for. They came here on this train, down this very route, and now you will pedal up and down it in both directions, much slower than James J. Hill intended. But think of them as you come through. Now I'm just here to hold the microphone for Colin Peterson. You understand that? But I wonder if you wouldn't have it in you to sing a song, all of you together, gathered here in the bright sunlight. Thinking of it as I was biking in from West Union. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, which we don't have around here, majesty. Across a fruited plain, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Let's sing this in sort of this key right here. This,
oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plain.
sopranos.
America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Hold that chord, oh beautiful, for patriots' dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. Oh beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for patriots'
That sees beyond the earth.
that sees beyond
Thine
the
alabaster cities gleam,
thine alabaster city,
undimmed by human tears.
undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Hold that note there. Oh, beautiful for pilgrims' feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. So beautiful for pilgrims' feet.
Oh, beautiful for
whose stern impassioned stress
whose stern impassion
a thoroughfare for freedom beat.
A thoroughfare for freedom
Across the wilderness.
Across the wilderness. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Sing one last verse for our young men and women who are half a world away, fighting for their country. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and liberty than life. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved.
Oh, beautiful for
in liberating strife,
in liberating
who more than self their country loved,
who more than self their country loved, and liberty and life. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
just hum me one verse here. So beautiful. Have a great day.
When you make that westward cycling trip, set sail on the Wobegon trip. Set sail on the Wobegon trip. Set sail on the Wobegon